Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for April or whenever you're led to it, for Taurus, Sun, Moon or Rising. I do advise that you watch at least your Sun and your Rising. So if you don't know what your Rising sign, there is a link in the description down below so that you can find that out. All you just need is your time, date and place of birth. Now, as a general reading rules apply. Timing's far from absolute, as you know with tarot. I'm not reading for every single Taurus. I am reading for those Taurus that find the reading and then hear some relevance. So because there's a past and a present in this spread. So if the past and the present don't fit, it's not for you. It's go and watch your rising, go and watch your moon sign. But as a general reading, as I say, general reading rules apply. So if someone else turns up in the reading, roles between you and them can get reversed because I see the energies, not the people, although that doesn't happen a lot. But I think that there has been a few readings where it might have happened. So, but what I would like you to do is, because as I said, this reading either is for you or it isn't, is ask a question prior to me going to the cards. So spend a moment, think about all the questions that are around you, focus upon one of them, but be aware of all of them because the cards will answer what they want and not necessarily what you and I think are the highest priority. But that focus gives energy to the process and hopefully I will return it to you within a good reading. And if I don't, somebody will. So yeah, that's it really. As for links down below, there's also a link to the Facebook page for this channel, where I post these videos, obviously, but also a lot of the astrology videos that I watch. I don't consistently do it, I admit, I haven't recently. The weather forecast type videos. After I finish here, I should actually go through my YouTube history and post a load of them. So yeah, there's an inbox there as well. So if you want to contact me for a personal reading, you can do. But while you're here, hit that like button if you would. It helps the video get seen, especially if you like it. But if it means something to you, comment down below. Tell me. I really, really appreciate it. It's always nice to know when these readings find their home, wherever or whoever their home may be. Okay, so I think that's everything for all my waffle. So let me bring the cards up now, Taurus. It looks like there's a bit of a tough time going on, but I don't think it's going to ease soon, but there is hope of easing. But what there is more importantly is the message to stick at what you're doing. At the minute, we've got the very present, the surface of the situation is the tower, everything crumbling down. But everything crumbling down is somehow setting things right. But obviously, if there's been some grave manner of things that has been wrong, and then you have to change that manner of things where everything has been set to that manner of things, yeah, that's going to cause disruption. So on the positive side, and it really is divided to a great extent here. When we go through the oracle cards, we have Hold Your Vision, Fixed Moon from the Moonology deck. Now, there is something that I feel that you have been working on. We've got 8 of Pentacles on the bottom of the first clarification deck. This is something that you've been working on and something that you've been wanting to work before. It's the stuff of dreams, and you've known that you need to bring something else in line with it for you to move ahead with this. This is something that you've had recognition of recently, but I suspect that this very point of recognition may well have caused this tower situation happening for you. Now, I do feel that you've got an attitude of because it's something that you was prepared and ready for, because 9 of Wands here, I think you was a bit sick of how it had been going, and after the work that you've been putting in, it's about time you was getting recognised and you are oh so ready for a new beginning. Now, that new beginning's on its way, but it ain't here yet. You've still got to work towards it. So, we have, I'm going to dash over here now, Galahad from the Mists of Avalon Oracle. Now, that is saying that it's time for you to level up. Just as what this, the Page of Coins, Page of Pentacles, that's my level up card. That's my level 1 complete, become a beginner at level 2 card. I always like to use a computer game analogy on that one. You've had one big boss fight, now you're a newbie on a new level, heading towards a bigger boss fight. And Galahad is saying, yes, you can do this. It's time for you to show the world your stuff, which is what you have been doing recently. But as I say, I think that has caused some... Yes, it's caused some ripples, but more to the point, you have been overtaken by ripples from something else as well. So your recognition, yes, opened the doorway, or appeared, I think is a better way to put it, appeared to open the doorway for some more calamitous event to start controlling your circumstances. But Queen of Cups here, your recognition has also served to inform you that what you had been working on and what you're wanting to go ahead with is a good thing, because you're not in it alone. Here's the World card as the second clarifier, or third deck, whichever way you want to look at it. Underlying this circumstance, we have the Justice card. We're setting things right, but it is difficult and there is a lot of combat around it, and it's causing stress and nightmares and anxiety and worry, and that's where that I'm pig sick of this attitude is probably getting fueled from, because of the anxiety that's being, I personally think, thrown at you. I mean, look at this Five of Swords here. There's no sign of conflict on this card, but we know it's a conflict card. But he's fed up. He's really fed up. So, what calamity is going on? Whatever this calamity is, Matariel, the angel of rain, says it's happening and you can't stop it. Matariel will get everywhere and there is nothing you can do to stop the rain. The rain will come and the rain will go when the rain damn well pleases. We have Eris with strife, but again, I did hear from one astrologer that Eris can represent that annoyance that makes you strive to evolve, which is what the Galahad card is saying. It's time for you to evolve. What springs to mind is how Eris can point out the fault in a system. You know, she throws the apple into the wedding of, was it Paris and Helen? And just said, for the most beautiful goddess, and three of them started fighting over it. All of them showing that they can be quite petty, rather than gracious. You know, it showed the flaws in their characters. But change is coming here. Big change. This is a really nice. So we've got the Death card. Yeah, you can tell that's a really nice card, isn't it? But there is an element of transformation. It's like the horse that's rearing up there. I don't feel that's one of the four horsemen coming for you, or that particular horseman coming for you. It's more like the Lloyd's Bank advert, the horse rearing up to celebrate its strength and to celebrate its power, because this is clarified here by the Justice card, which we had here underlying the current situation, where Eris has pointed out some faults and now these faults are getting addressed, and because these faults are getting addressed, it's causing one one hell of a ruckus, to be quite honest. And the Ace of Cups, which promises. Now, this came up in one of the other decks for Aries, and I saw it as falling in love with an idea that you hadn't had a chance to fall in, or Aries hadn't had a chance to fall in love with it yet. Now, this feels just very, very slightly different. It feels more of a receiving the key to express the love that you were already feeling because of whatever it was that you've been working hard of. That may have been a new beginning recently that you had that recognition and that you had been working towards. Because we have Three of Coins, so that often reminds me in this deck, it often reminds me of the Eight of Pentacles, because there's that whole sense of him working away. There's the skill and the craftsmanship, but the skill and the craftsmanship that's getting recognised. But this is clarified here by the Eight of Pentacles, New Beginning card, and the Fool, New Beginning card. So yes, you're going into unknown territory, and that's a good thing because you were a bit fed up with the previous territory. Because in the past, you had... Right, so you've had past success. We've got Six of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, King of Coins. So that's pretty much a divine pairing. King and Queen of Pentacles. Where you had victory. It was exposed to the world. You was, again, Ace of Coins. So there was something in the past where you were really, really successful, launched into a new world, and it just dissolved into a load of conflict and into a load of he said, she said, and because I'm getting the impression of he said, she said. I'm getting the impression of beating yourself up because it's not as much as you'd had that victory. Once you'd had it, it's almost like you feel you weren't worthy of the victory that you had, even though you kept doing it. So after a point, it became like going through the motions, and you was trying to make a decision. Am I going to carry on with this, or am I going to move on to working on my own? And you were encouraged, I believe, to work on your own, but you found that new environment quite confusing. However, you stuck at it for quite some time until there was aspects of this, because something happened where you had that defensive urge where you go, oh, I've got to protect this. And then it wasn't that you then went to protect it. It's like, why? Why should I protect this? Why should I be forced into the situation where, I mean, I've put myself here, but this isn't, it's not right yet. It's not it yet. And this event, this outside influence has made me go, oh, I've got to protect. And how many protect what precisely? I know what I'm doing, but what I'm wanting to do is not being expressed right now. So we've got Eight of Cups on the bottom of this pile. And I feel like that when you were confronted with this pressure to protect something, you ended up going, no. And just went to concentrate on that bit of the idea, that bit of your life that really did give you that joy. It's almost like you came into something that you loved, but with fresh eyes. But there is a fear with having had the success before that it could all go a bit wrong again. It could all be stolen from you. It could offer a lot of stability, or it could be stolen from you, and you have to make that choice. And I think the bit that is scary there is you making that choice, because obviously the pursuing what it is that you are wanting to do, what that you have recently been recognized in, it reminds you of what's happened before. And therefore, well, it all went wrong then, why shouldn't it go wrong now? Well, yeah, I don't think that's fair, because you're a different you and this is a slightly different situation. And let's face it, you haven't had the giddy rush that you had before. It's been a lot more sort of, and now I've got to do this, and now I've got to do this, and now I've got to do this, and yeah, I'm happy with what I've accomplished. But you are worried about deceit with some of the House of Night there. And I would also say with that card, one thing it suggests is be careful about whether you are deceiving yourself. Because if you have fallen in love with this thing that you've been working on anyway, then get it out there with the support of friends. Ace of Cups to the Three of Cups here. Queen of Coins, Page of Cups. Yeah, it's taking that one love that you have and showing it to the world, displaying it to the world, shouting from the rooftops if you want, but with support. It's something that you know will need to be nurtured, but it is a message that you can give out that is going to be taking you to a better place. Six of Swords here, Six of Swords here. At the end of all of this chaos that's going on at the moment, if you stick to your guns with, final card, the Quantum Oracle here, professional assistance. This is not something, because if you look at what happened last time when you was doing so well and then it just dissolved into a pit of conflict, you know what the pitfalls are, but you don't necessarily know where the pitfalls are or how to build a bridge over them. So get some professional assistance in, because it's going to take you to a better place. There is someone who can give you the advice of going, yeah, you're doing this thing, right? Now, have you thought about putting it in this market? Or have you thought about doing it in this place? Or have you thought about doing it in this fashion? You know, because this, I don't know what this is relating to. It sounds very, very worky. Could be a relationship thing. Could be a family thing. Could be some form of magical issue or healing issue. So you've got to take it as it resonates for you. This is why I tell you to ask a question. But with that professional assistance, you are going to get to a better place. Six of Swords here, Six of Swords here. Now, here's where some of the choice comes in. So if you are unifying with some... this is lovely. So these two piles of cards here, they represent a potential future. A potential future that you can grab with both hands or you can run away from. Sometimes they present two futures. So let's see what the other one says before I start talking about them. Right. There is a chance you will have the choice of joining in partnership with another in reference to the issue that you was asking about, whatever that means. So, like I said, if it's a love thing, well, hey, it's the Two of Cups. You know, if you're watching tarot readings on YouTube for a love thing, Two of Cups will mean the world. The Two of Cups opens the path to the Four of Swords, healing, and very much healing and being nurtured there. It's a lady sleeping next to a heart in a nest that has been built and crafted and protects her. And then underneath all of that, the Eight of Pentacles, that work that you've been doing. And I'm seeing a direct link between that Eight of Pentacles there and the Three of Pentacles here, that your work has expanded, grown, and it's grown not just in volume and in turnover, but it's grown in reputation, it's grown in standing, it's grown in the effect that it is having. That's all positive. And that comes from joining forces with somebody, entering into a partnership with somebody, finding that perfect complement to you. Say, if you're good at making something, but you're no good at marketing, you start working at someone who's really good at marketing and loves your idea and is no good at making things. But the pair of you make a perfect unit because you make the stuff and that person knows how to get it out there and get it sold, for an example. So there's that like the two pieces of the yin yang symbol coming together. This pile, I think, is a second future. And this is where there's this offer of partnership. Four of Pentacles here, and is very much going sort of, no, mine. But all that leads to is getting really cheesed off with what you're doing and walking away from it in the end. And you've done that once before. You don't really want to do that again. And yes, you can say that once before you were forced away. But even if you were forced away, you chose to accept that and not fight it. So you walked away. You know, so there's a... Whatever this partnership is, it's advising take it. Take the partnership. Enter into that partnership. Because otherwise you can end up being quite bitter by just adhering to the old rules all the time and then finding that they're getting you nowhere. Well, they haven't been getting you anywhere here, so why would adhering to the same old rules get you, you know, what's the definition of madness sort of thing, doing the same thing over again and expecting a different result. Take that partnership, whatever it is. So we've done the hopes and fears, because I really do feel that you wouldn't be given Galahad, you know, calling you to evolve, calling you to grow with what you're doing. You wouldn't have the hold your vision, saying that you're on the right path with whatever it is that you want to do. You wouldn't be advised to spend out on professional assistance. You know, you haven't necessarily got to spend on it, but get that professional assistance. And why would Eris even bother looking at you if there wasn't some validity in what you're doing? And what Eris does is points out the weakness in things. So you are getting to see those weaknesses now. So let's have, because final outcome card, I'm going through this really quickly, aren't I? All right, firstly, Vualia, representing prosperity from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell. And with it, Sabnok. Now, Sabnok is great for destroying your enemies, but he's also really, really good at protection. He represents here in this deck the fall of empires, and that's what we've got going on with this Tower card here. We have a fall of something, but that fall of something, your recognition, or the recognition of you, or your recognition of the work you were doing, has opened the door to let this overwhelming event in that is not, it's not your fault. Do you know what I mean? That it would have affected anyway, but I think because of the recognition around you, everyone was hypersensitive to it, so was aware of it from the first moment that it appeared, which is also good, because it's better to be aware of it as soon as possible than to all of a sudden have the tower collapse under you and you're 50 foot up in the sky with nothing to stand on, and you've got that Wile E. Coyote moment before you suddenly look down and then go and plummet. You know, it's cheerful for you. This is actually looking to be a more cheerful reading than I was thinking. But it is stormy at the moment. Fair enough. Right. When, in the shuffle, when I laid everything out, I saw 3 of Swords as the final outcome card. My first... no, I will get to this, but the other thing, I haven't mentioned Tarot de Los Angeles. I I'm going to mess up this pronunciation. I do not speak Spanish or Mexican or wherever this is from, so I'm sure it's a Spanish or Mexican. But Hada del Nacimiento, Hada del Nacimiento, but angel of birth. This, what you've got going on here, this tower event, is birthing pains to reveal the new way forward that will be right and will involve that complete change. So back to the Three of Swords, because I know you're so eager to learn what the Three of Swords is representing to you as a final outcome. But all I could see was the surface deck, the main deck, and the oracle cards. But, well, not even that at that point. But it didn't, there was no pain here. There was no sorrow. There was no upset. I felt like there was a rejection of pain. Like this Harlequin with the heart on her face has just gone, no, over there, not relevant. It's a pain I can keep in the cupboard. I can look at it on occasion. I will learn from it. I can use it as a weapon. But in the meantime, it has no power over me. It is the past. It is history. These are like just memory images floating past these swords. And I hadn't even looked at what was underneath. So, Seven of Wands, the card that I always like to say is meeting up with your peers. And it doesn't have, there's no fear, there's no amount of combat. It's more of a presentation, you know, sort of, ta-da! Like all of a sudden there's a new Power Ranger and they morph for the first time and everyone's like, and there you go. There is now the new Polka Dot Ranger, you know, and the Ace of Cups, again, linking with what this new dream, or not even new dream, but the fact that you love it so much that you realize that you can express it in the way that you've always wanted to. This Ace of Cups here, Ace of Cups here. That's your path to the future. Something that you had been working towards, but it had felt a bit like sort of, what, I think I want to do this, but I can't feel the passion for it, but it seems like a good idea, so I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and right, so now I'm 1/3 of the way there, and this is next on the business plan, the plan of operations, the agenda that I've set for myself, whatever. And that Ace of Cups is taking you through to the future in a really positive way, where there is a rejection of previous pain. That's really nice. You've got your Six of Swords here, Six of Swords here, a better place. Ace of Cups, Ace of Cups. And all this justice energy going on at the minute. This, whatever you're going through at the moment, this is sorting stuff out. And you stand to benefit from it. So this tower collapse that you're going through right now, you know, the structures around you changing and nothing being reliable and the ground shaking, don't worry, it's just getting rid of the dross. This is with birth, prosperity, Galahad, Cold Vision, Material. Because the other aspect with Material, I don't just see Material bringing in that tower. I see Material bringing in these Ace of Cups. So, and creating the rain for the river that you go on in the Six of Swords. So, it's all good, Taurus. That's one thing that I want to say. It's probably a nightmare at the moment, but it's all good. It will be. Follow that vision, and I think you're going to find you fall in love with it more than what you was expecting. But it's a good plan. Stick to it. So if that means anything to you, Taurus, Comment down below, like, share, subscribe, obviously all that good stuff. I will see you in the new moon readings. There should be a couple of other little interesting shows coming out. I'm hoping the same night that this comes out, there should be another show I'm doing with astrologer David Fisher. So if you've been excited about the Snyder Cut getting released, you will want to keep your eye open for this one, which doesn't sound tarot-like at all, does it? But trust me, you'll like it. All right? Cheers.